Rocket Pro partners, thank you for joining us for this pro performance around the season of giving. Close strong, start stronger. I am Jeremy Bednarz-Gray, Divisional Vice President of Sales here at Rocket Pro, celebrating my 12th season here, and I am joined by my good friend Christian, all the way down from warm and sunny Florida. Christian, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about you.
Well, thank you, JBG. Christian Plocica, VIP Mortgage Group. Yes, down here in sunny Florida, where it is a beautiful 76 degrees, and we are loving every moment of it. Been in the mortgage industry since 2012. So I know I'm not with Rocket, so I won't say seasons, I'll say years. So it's been 13 years, but loving every moment of it, and most importantly, proud and humbled to be a proud partner with Rocket Pro.
Hey, we're glad to have you, my friend. Hopefully you had an amazing Thanksgiving and got to spend some quality time with the family.
Yes, we had about 25 people strong here at the house. It was great. And I know I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'm going to bring up how the certain team in Detroit didn't win, but an actual team from New York, the Jets, actually pulled out a victory. So pretty excited about that. It's very rare that I get to say those words. Jets win.
Hey, we had a stellar season last year, so the standard is definitely high with the Lions, but we're still rooting for them. But we're here. We're here, as many of you know. Winter months of November and December can tend to slow down a little bit. So that's essentially why here at Rocket Pro, we've launched the season of giving to, again, try and support our partners to close out 2025 strong. We're going to cover a few best practices with Christian on how to keep things actively moving on our side and keep production as high as possible, right? So again, we're going to cover a few different best practices or strategies, if you would, around communication, setting yourself up for success as we get ready to transition into 2026. And we'll talk a little bit about Rocket Pro's tool called Navigate. So there is 4 outcomes that we're looking for with today's meeting. We're looking to identify trends in December that present unique opportunities for business growth, implement effective strategies shared by Christian to sustain momentum through the year. We're going to cover a few different tools that you can leverage with our Navigate to engage clients, referrals, but more importantly, work smarter, not harder. And then we're going to finish things up with a game plan for January to start 2026 strong. I'm always a firm believer of you want us to play from ahead and not behind. So with that being said, Christian, I'm going to turn things over to you. What are some trends or shifts that you often see during the month of December?
Well, we definitely see a few in particular. Like what's the market activity right now? And you and I know that during these months things slow down, and it's for a good reason. There's the holidays coming up. It's a new year. Things typically slow down. But what is it that we're looking for in particular? Market activity. We're going to see inventory decline in the winter. So clients feel the pressure to act quickly during these months, and especially if they have an appropriate property. I like to say we have these serious buyers that are taking over where the tire kickers disappear. So there tends to be more of a serious buyer during this time of the year. Also, we look at tax considerations. Some buyers are motivated just by the desire to get a tax deduction on their tax returns that they're going to come file next year. There are some potential benefits from closing with your CPA. But again, I'm not a CPA, so definitely check out what can and cannot be used. But that's typically something that can be done. And you'll also have year-end goals where many clients want to settle into that new home before the holidays because we know it's hectic. People are coming over or we might be traveling. So that just might be a year-end goal from a client. And it could be for personal or financial reasons, the reason why they want to plan this at the year end. But then also transaction timelines. Clients become more mindful and sometimes anxious about these times and what might happen. What's the processing times? Can you get a loan done in this short of period? And especially with the holidays coming up. So as holiday closures and sometimes there's limited staff because of vacationing, we want to make sure that doesn't affect the speed of which these loans progress.
Yeah, and so you talk about goals, right? Like how amazing would it be to put somebody in their home from start to finish of the business pro or the loan application in like 7 business days and start 2026 with a fresh pair of keys in hand, new house, or heck, even think about hosting your very first, holiday gathering with friends and family. Nothing beats that type of memory, right?
And that
But
can be probably the best gift of all. Under the tree would be the set of keys.
absolutely, absolutely. Are there any particular areas where you specifically see deals tend to slow down during this part of the year? Specifically, like with clients already in process or already making loan applications?
Well, here's one thing that I think we need to really focus on. Um, it's how do we close stronger, right? Closing stronger. You can see the scenario here. Holiday distractions, travel, shifting priorities often slow down clients in December, putting time and closings at risk. Here's what we all have to focus on. People are distracted, right? So that's probably the biggest thing that might be blocking deals right now from getting done. It's not the guidelines. So we really want to take that into consideration and really just for cement that into our minds that distractions and not guidelines are the reason that these deals might get hung up during the process.
Heck,
But
we
here's
just
what we
got done
want to do.
celebrating what Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so there's
Oh,
all types of distractions out there right now.
but listen, all you got to do is Google a day. It will show up something for that specific day. Yes, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thankful Tuesday. Yes, all that good stuff. But here's what we want to do. When we get on the phone, if we're pre-approving somebody or if someone has a contract, we want to be able to set clear deadlines. At the start of the process, we want to give them not just a checklist of items that we need, but we want to get even more specific where it's a date checklist. So they know exactly what's needed and by when. We want to be proactive with our check-ins and reminders, right? We don't want to react. Too often we live in a reactive society and something comes up and then we have to scramble. Let's not do that. Let's make sure that we're checking in on certain days. Hey, I'm going to need this by X amount. When is your inspection date? So I know when we can order the appraisal. Hey, when did that EMD check clear? Right? We're going to need this from a transaction history. So not to get into the weeds of certain documents, but you can see where I'm going with this and being really specific and proactive with everything. But also, we want to make these tasks very easy for them. We want to break them down into simple single task messages and basically hold their hand, step-by-step instructions. I sometimes have had to drive to people's homes to pick up documents, right? Because they just don't
So
know
be
how to use,
flexible.
yeah, they don't know how to use technology. Know your audience, right? Or I've gone on a Zoom call and shown them how to get a transaction history from their bank or just how to upload certain things into our system. So you want to be prepared for that, especially again with audience you're working with. But you just said it though, be flexible and supportive. Don't get too excited or upset if people can't give you things. Show empathy if they fall behind, offer solutions. We know we're going to run into problems here and there, but the best LOs in this business are solution based. They're problem solvers. That's what's going to separate you, and that's what's going to get your deal to the journey, I like to call it, to the closing table.
I mean, communication is key. Whether you're looking for success, you can always look back and see that level of communication is probably at a higher level. And then when you have failures, there was probably a lack of communication somewhere around it. So I really love that. Are there any strategies that you can share with our audience that you personally leverage during this time of the year?
Absolutely. Now, we're going to get into certain things. Now, it's what works for me or works for you might be totally different. But for example, social media, right? JBG, we were talking about this one time. Well, how often should you post? When should you post? Is there a
Million
certain
dollar
time of the
question people
day,
always ask.
right? I, I don't think anyone's yet to figure that out. I think things with social media are changing often and daily. But we want to stay social. We want to stay seen, right? So what strategies can we do here? So we might have some extra time on our hands, but I really think you should come up with a schedule that works for yourself. For instance, I would put it part of your daily schedule to do a few things, and especially when it comes to social media. It might be, I don't know, from 9 to 10 a.m. or just block out a part of time where you're going to be on social media. And you might have heard this before, but we all get caught up in what should we post, like we were saying before, and how often. Here's one thing that gets lost, where sometimes we just think about our engagement should be our post. I call this be more interested than interesting,
Mm,
right? We want to be interested in what others are posting. Be very, very pragmatic with that, but be very deliberate, right? You want to know if you have previous clients on there, your realtors, and engage with them because engaging with them is going to start having them see more of your post when you do make your own personal post, right?
those websites, you're talking to like those website algorithms, if you would, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce that word with my accent.
Good luck on the spelling bee with that one.
Exactly. But we wanna treat December like it's a growth month and it's not a dead month, right? Those LOs that still continue to grow and don't have that mindset, like we're getting lazy, we're gonna take some time off. We don't want to do that. But again, we want to make sure that the engagement is on other posts. And I think people fail to realize that where if I have someone communicate on my post, I'm going to remember them. This is part of normal behavior. And I want to see if a realtor has put something out there, maybe share their open house or congratulate them or say, wow, this looks like a beautiful home. Just little things like that. Doesn't have to be too much information that you're putting on there. But also on social media, don't be afraid to send a direct message, a DM to a realtor in the area or someone that you want to work with. I can tell you one of my best realtors that I have now was about a year ago. I just DM'd them a special product that came out with their information on it. I went to a website. I created a social media post for them with their information. And then all of a sudden, about a week or so later, she sends me, "Hey, I have a lead for you." And she's one of the biggest realtors in the area, and now I'm part of her go-to list. So it's really really important to do stuff like that. But also, it's not about generating applications right now either. It's about keeping your name top of mind and growing your network.
Gotcha. Hey, you always say out of sight, out of mind. Biggest thing, hey, don't worry about best times of the day. Just put it in your calendar. If it's not your calendar, chances are you're not going to execute on it. The other $1 million question, Christian, kind of puts you on the spot here. Do you have like a preference on a social media site? Do you do all of them? There's everything from Facebook to LinkedIn to Instagram. Do you put a preference on one over the other? Do you do everything or any insight you could share on that?
I use a combination of all of them. Most of it would be on Facebook and Instagram. I do go on LinkedIn a little bit, but I tend to find that I have better engagement or people will just seeing my post more on Instagram and Facebook. So I tend to stay with those.
Okay, cool. Hey, solid strategy number one. Stay seen, stay social. Anything else you have to share with our friends at home?
Well, one thing that I like to do that I really take a lot of pride in and take a lot of time in doing is you got to humble yourself and we want to show some gratitude.
Mm,
And this next slide is going to talk about gratitude in action. Well, what does gratitude mean and what type of impact can it have on people? Just showing that you're grateful, showing that you're a humbled person really goes a long way. We take a lot of things for granted in our lives, and we take getting a deal from somebody or contract or another relationship with someone, we take it for granted at times, where then we start to expect it. Now is a time to really deepen relationships with your real estate partners and referral sources. Referral sources also can be, say, CPAs, um, financial planners. just people that really have other relationships that you can go and work with. One thing I really take great pride in is being transformational and not transactional. Rocket has an ism, money and numbers follow, they don't lead. And the same thing with like transactions and relationships. The transactions come when you're transformational and when you build these relationships. A simple, genuine appreciation text message or an email or a video, it really, really goes a long way. We have to understand that things are earned, and we just can't assume loyalty because there's going to be some other LO that's going to come in and maybe wipe knock their socks off and might take some business from you. We got to make sure we're doing everything from a personal way, just to continue showing that gratitude. We want to be that broker for life. I can tell you an example that I would do is I have a little thing on my phone that you just click on the Facebook birthdays and it shows me who has their birthday today. And for those realtors that I've worked with and that, my Facebook friends, I make sure to send them a 15-second video. I'm not going to show you guys how I sing because it's god awful, but just a little happy birthday video. Again, it's showing some of your funny sides to you, right? It's not always just how serious you are. And I sing it and I may put my little act into it.
Man, it started off with a hold on. Sorry to cut you off here. You went deep with some philosophy, transformational, not transactional. Now you're going straight a cappella singing birthday songs with us. I don't think our audience is ready for us with this one at home. If you're going to sing happy birthday like Christian, make sure you get some practice clips on there. Don't go breaking notes, sounding like you're going through that age 12, 13 phase again, breaking the mics. Definitely get some practice clips in if you're going to start singing happy birthdays to your realtors. They may not reply back again, unless you got a beautiful voice like Christian, of course.
Yeah, no. Well, this is not Mariah Carey. Here's some things to think of too. Every morning, I try to send out at least 2 to 3 text messages to just random realtors or previous clients, and I'll just text message them. Hey, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, and I'm thankful for you. And then do that to another one. Just think about how if someone sent that to you, how would that would pep up your day. That would make you feel great, and it makes you top of mind. So we want to do stuff like that. If you're sending out videos, let's just say or emails for updates, why don't you send a video, a quick 15-second update video to all the realtors that are there? Remember their anniversaries. Remember some life events, right? These are just little things there. Doesn't cost you a dime. It just costs you maybe about 5 minutes of your time.
Short form videos are definitely key and definitely a lot more impactful from a one-on-one perspective. So everything from small habits like text messages, simple happy birthday, or thank you for the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah.
Is essentially like some big habits, some small habits that lead to big takeaways, ultimately forming a better relationship is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Nice. Any other strategies that you can share with our audience that you personally take advantage of during this time of the year?
We want to also kind of feeling, sometimes we get overwhelmed with technology, right? We want to be able to embrace certain things. And, there's times where we want to be able to use tech to basically step our game up, right? And tech up your game. And there's great things that Rocket offers, such as the Rocket Navigate. And you can see how do you structure things or how do you come up with ideas and stuff like that. We talked about also before, we don't want to be reactive. We don't want to react to what happens in your day. We want to be really prepared. But we also want to, how do we look like the professional, the expert in our field? And a great thing that we can do is use Rocket Pro Navigate. And one thing I like to use this for is continuously being in front of people by creating, say, a weekly newsletter, right? A lot of people will say, well, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't know what to do. Or well, the guessing is taken from you, where Navigate can do that. So if we go to Navigate, one beautiful thing is we can ask it how to create an actual newsletter and then even turn it into social media posts if we want. Now here with Navigate, what we can do is we'll start a new chat and everything is up here. So what I'm going to do to start off is I'm going to start giving it some prompts. All right, so here with Rocket Pro and Navigate, what we can do is help create a weekly newsletter. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a prompt in here and basically says, help create an email that I can send out to realtors and clients regarding the upcoming Fed announcement on December 10th, 2025. And what we can do here, this is just basic language that we're giving it, right? And we hit the enter button, and then it's going to come up with the draft, as you can see here in live time. Now, what we want to do here is, well, maybe we want to take it a step forward, and then I'm going to ask it another prompt because we want to create a finished product. What about if your clients say, I see the Fed keeps lowering rates, but everything seems to be the same. Now it's going to give you a response to this, and just check out how the speed of this and everything is here is going to basically tell you what to write into that, right? And then here's what we're going to do too. I want to tell it for a specific example, but remember, we got to know our audience, and our audience is not going to have the knowledge both you and I have. So I kind of tell it here, give me an example why rates get worse after a Fed decision and explain to me like I'm a 10-year-old. And it talks about owning a lemonade stand and basically the reasoning why, hey, well, rates went down, now rates gone up. What's the reasoning for? And it gives you some really good information to keep on that. And now I'm going to give it another prompt. Well, my client is still unsure after this email an explanation and says the infamous words, I think I'm going to just wait. Well, it's going to.
I love that wait objection.
Yeah, and now it's just going to give you this objection, right? And basically being empathetic towards their concern, how it talks about that missing out on opportunities. But now you know what? We want to go a little bit further. We kind of want to get a little bit more specific about how the waiting process can actually hurt somebody. Speak to the importance of acting now versus waiting due to home prices appreciating. Use a rate of 6.5% for today's pricing in 6 months if the rate gets better by a half a point. Now it's really going to talk about a home at a specific price. What if that home appreciated, right, by 5% in a certain amount of time? And this talks about the potential payment, the long-term affordability. And now let's say, hey, look, I want to give this information so a realtor can present it to their client. What about our realtors that are dealing with the same weight issue? How can they respond? And now it's going to come as if it was from a realtor instead of us. And we're giving this information on how to use it. So this is really, really good when it comes to that. And if you want to throw in one more, how can we create social media post for Facebook and Insta? This is real life, people. That's why I get a few typos in there. But again, it's going to give you specific posts. So now, how can you tech up your game? This is exactly how you can tech up your game by using Rocket Pro and Navigate. This will help you, give you some ideas and things that you want to be able to share with realtors and clients. But another thing is, well, what if you just don't have a list of realtors right now? You're new and you want to have some realtors you can send this information out to? Well, there's some data collection tools that Rocket Pro offers, and this is where you can go in, put in the names of these realtors and see what their production are, see what their production is, see where they are around you in your area, and it will give you the information that you can reach out to them if you want to start from scratch and you need some realtor partners to begin networking with.
Hey, so you've dropped a lot of gems here, Christian. I want to give a quick recap as we're starting to approach the end of our meeting here today. Definitely make sure you visit our vendor marketplace. That way you'll be able to leverage a few of the partnerships that Christian was talking about as far as where we gather data when it comes to realtors, whether you're looking at attracting already established realtors or those that are looking at growing. A great opportunity there where we have several different companies you can leverage at severely discounted prices to take advantage of. But again, just a quick recap. Communication is key, right? To overcome some of those trends during December where, hey, it's easy to check out with the holidays. You have to over communicate what is expected from your borrowers. So that way, again, they are providing you what's needed. So they're able to ultimately achieve their year-end goal, right? Whether it's from a financial implication, personal goal. Christian just shared with us 3 amazing strategies as far as staying social, be seen, being grateful, right? We just came off of Thanksgiving. Great time of the year to look back on what you accomplished. Thank your partners that worked with you, whether it's borrowers, realtors, heck, loan processors maybe that you have working for you. That gratification goes a long way as far as establishing those relationships. Definitely want to lean into tech. You can't go to any website or open any newspaper without seeing AI there. Here at Rocket, one of our biggest commitments to our partners at RPX, our most recent event we had back in September, was rolling out technology that works for you, right? Work smarter, not harder. And Christian shared a few different things with us on how he leverages that just now with Navigate, whether it's communicating with borrowers around what's happening in the market, or even helping his realtors out on how to overcome objections like the weight objection, something very common to, all of us in this industry. So with all that being said, Christian, what are some takeaways that you have for our audience to start January off on the right foot? Again, I said, hey, I'm a firm believer in playing from ahead to start the year, whether it's hitting my personal goals, financial or personal. What are some things, some action items, if you would, that you have for our audience at home that they should do immediately following this phone call?
Well, if we look at what we just spoke about, and starting January stronger, realize one thing: what you do today is going to impact what's done in January, right? So I would even say, hey, what are we going to do today? Is there something I can do today? These are not mind-blowing techniques that are going to just start pouring in, but these are just the little things that we really need to pay attention to so we can strengthen and even build new relationships, stay social, stay seen. We want to be engaged, right? We want to be interested more than say just interesting. We want to be able to go on social media and connect with people. So then when we do have stuff that we want to be interesting, they'll be able to see it with changing all the algorithms on that and helping us. 2, gratitude and action. I keep on saying this phrase, the little things. Tell the realtors who you work with, your referral partners and previous clients, especially if they send you a deal, send them a little text message really thanking them. Don't assume their loyalty. It needs to be earned. And tech up your game. Being comfortable where you're uncomfortable. A lot of people are uncomfortable with this. I know I was until I really started going down the path and looking at it and using it. Use the tech today to start. Ask it, what do I need to do today to build my business for January? And it's going to give you things to do. We just don't understand the simplicity of it. And it's like having a conversation with another person, an expert that can help you. So with those 3 things there, I think if we really, really lock in, I think we will start seeing success.
I love it. I love it. So send out one social media post at least here in the next 24 hours. Text one realtor today. Log in and Navigate. Play around with it. Within the next 24 hours, accomplish those 3 things. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you guys were here with us today. So thank you. Before you leave, we have another pro performance this upcoming December 18th. I will say that one more time, December 18th. Please join us as we'll be talking about the power plan for 2026. Obviously, as the year winds down, many of us start thinking about what we want to accomplish for the new year. Heck, I'm still scratching out 2024 and adjusting to 2025, and it's crazy to believe 2026. So this is going to be a workshop to help you clear any type of roadblocks that you have in your business, a grounded look at what's going to be helpful for you moving forward, whether it's navigate with Lead Analyzer or scanning documents, right? To identify how to calculate pay stubs or your next hottest opportunity as far as from a refinance. We're going to be covering it all. We're going to highlight again, Navigate, Lead Scanner, and a Rocket Assist to help you have a successful 2026. So make sure you join us there. And again, very grateful for you taking the time out of your busy day here during the holiday season to join us. And my friend Christian, all the way from warm Florida. You could have been golfing right now, Christian, but you set aside some time for to join us here and share some best practices. The inches are everywhere we need around us. Thank you all. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.